welcome to the Lawrence County Football Show. Wow, it seems like we were just talking about baseball, and here we are, ready for the first week set for scrimmages. And, well, let's get right to the teams and what's going on. First up, we're going to take a look at Newcastle. Newcastle having a playoff march 2 years in a row. This year, things look kind of okay for the Canes. 57 kids out for the team, and I've taken some time to watch what was going on, and they look like they got some pretty decent size. Now, the Canes will be in a conference that includes Ambridge, Beaver, Blackhawk, Highlands, Knock. And that is the lighter side of the conference. The last three games seem to be, or the last three teams that I'm going to mention, seem to be challenging for the Canes. Montour, and they had a number 16 rating out of 25. Newcastle was number 17, and South Fayette number 9. So how's that shape up for the schedule? The Canes will scrimmage, and we will be there when they scrimmage Grove City. Now, they call it week 0. I call it game 1. At Newcastle High School, it's Shaler visiting Newcastle, and that's Friday the 24th. Then the Canes will take to the road Montour right out of the gate, and they're going to take on Montour and then South Fayette at Taggart Stadium. So the Montour game down in Pittsburgh, big challenge for the Canes. Then they'll come home to take on South Fayette. And then it will be at Beaver, at West Mifflin, home with South Park, then at Blackhawk. Blackhawk has a new stadium. At Knock. And the last two games feature Highlands on the 19th and at Ambridge on the 26th of October. So good luck, Canes, and they could make a decent run. The way things look, the Canes have the potential to play some pretty good ball, and we'll have to see what happens. That conference, Northwest 9, always a tough conference. Now we go to we have a doubleheader on the 24th and the 25th. We're taking the Newcastle game on Friday, and then we're traveling out to Shenango to watch Shenango take on the Scotties. Well, let's take a look at the Wildcats. The Wildcats had a pretty good turnout for the team as I flip down when I can and give you the number. 39 kids, not bad for Shenango. Now, Shenango will be playing in a conference that's pretty tough. It's the AA Midwestern Conference, featuring Freedom, Lincoln, which is Elwood, Mohawk, Neshannock, New Brighton, Riverside, Shenango, of course, and Western Beaver. Top schools, kind of tough. Neshannock always puts together a good team. This will be a tough test for the Cats. Their schedule will be Union at home, of course, and we'll talk about the Scotties in a second. Freedom, they will be taking on at home. So the Cats, beneficiary of those first two home games, trying to get themselves in position. Then they go down and play Western Beaver, and that's always tough on the road, especially the trip. It's a hard trip. Then they play Sierra Catholic. Sierra Catholic comes up to Shenango. Then they'll go to Riverside. They'll go to Mohawk. They'll have Elwood City come to them. And then Southmoreland. And that's a new school playing up, probably the crossover game. New Brighton, and then at Neshannock. Last game rivalry for the Cats, as it brings back old feelings of that Tri-County, and that was a pretty special time. Before we go to break, we'll take a look at the Scotties. Now the Scotties, the few, the proud, and yes, they're there. 22 out of 25, and we didn't get a roster for them because of they always try to get numbers. They will be at Shenango, as we said. Then it's the single A contest with Cornell, Stowe Rocks. Then they go at Northgate. Then they have Rochester at home, at Bishop Canevin. They'll come back home and play at Laurel, at Carmichael. Then they'll play Our Lady of Sacred Heart. And here's the kicker. They'll play at West Green, which is in Waynesburg. And then it printed the game out to be twice. So I'm not real sure as to why that happened. But the Scotties, with a 10-game schedule and in that tough single A conference. Now, we're going to take a break on this Lawrence County football show, and we'll be right back after this timeout.
Come dine with us, come dine today. If you could use some real good food, there's a place not far away. If you could use a drink or two, or a place to go and play, come to Gallows Italian Villa today.
Yes, friends, Chalella & Carney Floral Designs is alive and well in Newcastle. Owner and designer Stephen Doherty and his staff have a special motto: we love what we do, and it shows in every area of the business. Stop by their pleasant Southside store at 1006 South Mill Street. Chalella & Carney has been there for the community with quality and service since 1943. You can go to the website chalellaandcarney.com or call 724-652-8412.
Well, we're back, and the Lawrence County Football Show rolls on. Now, as we take a look at the Lancers having great success as of late, and if you recall, last year playing at Robert Morris. Now, how does this year fare for the Lancers? Once again, the Shannock in a very tough Midwestern AA league with the likes of Elwood and Riverside, who last year had a great season, Western Beaver, who's always tough, crosstown rivals Shenango, Mohawk, and Freedom Area put together a couple good seasons themselves. Now, the Lancers will start with a home game against Avonworth after their scrimmage week. And then they'll be at Riverside. They'll be at Mohawk. They'll come home to take on Lincoln, Elwood City. And just looking at that, the Wolverines will have to travel twice to Newcastle to play Shenango and Neshannock. Now, after their tangle with the Wolverines, they'll be taking on Shadyside Academy. Always a tough school. It's at Shadyside, a tough place to play. And then New Brighton. The October part of the schedule features Fort Cherry, at Freedom, at Western Beaver, and the last game with arch rival Shenango. Always an affair with those two get together, and we had this Shenango Neshannock game on in basketball last year, so you know what a rivalry that is. Now, we have to move on to the Laurel Spartans. And the Spartans, with a proud tradition, as of late, have had some challenges. Now, this year, playing in the 1A section that features Union, and Union's always given the Spartans a little bit of a headache. The Stowe Rocks, Rochester, Our Lady of Sacred Heart, Northgate, Cornell, and Bishop Canavan. Won't be an easy test for the Spartans playing in that particular conference. Now, the Spartans, however, had fared well with getting a few people out for the team. They've had 31 out. So what does it look like for the Spartans? Well, their first game, they take on crosstown rival Mohawk. And, it's good to see the Tri-County sticking together and not having that travel type of stuff. The next game, and the Mohawk game is the game after their scrimmage. I'm going to say that again. So they'll take on Mohawk, and that'll be at Laurel. Then it'll be Rochester. And Rochester game will be at Laurel. Bishop Canavan at Laurel. And here's the key. After those 3 home games, then they'll go to California. They'll go to Clareton. Clareton will come to them. So for the Spartans, the first 4 home games with only 1 away out of the first 5. Then they have to travel, and I want to check that. Yeah, they're going to play Sacred Heart at home also. So that makes it interesting. Then they'll go to Union, and it looks like Cornell, Stowe Rocks, and Northgate to finish out the schedule. So interesting little trip for the Spartans. Now, we still have some more local teams to go, and that being the Warriors of Mohawk, the Wilmington Greyhounds, and, yes, those Elwood City Wolverines. We're going to take this break, and we'll be right back.
The Cedars is a great restaurant with outstanding Mediterranean food. The Cedars takeout menu is second to none, featuring pizza, stromboli, hoagies, their famous lamb on the rod, and so much more. So when you're hungry and you want that Newcastle taste, make it Cedars. Now it's in Newcastle, 827 Addis Street on the east side, and all Cedars 724-658-9260. The Crane Room is a restaurant. The Crane Room is a bar. The Crane Room is a banquet facility. The restaurant will please you time after time with their diverse menu. Ask about their daily specials. See the menu at craneroom.com. The bar gives you an abundance of choices with 35 beers on tap and always changing. Their banquet services are always to perfection. The Crane Room, located at 3009 Wilmington Road in Neshannock Township. Call 724-656-1553.
Welcome back, and now it's time to talk about the Mohawk Warriors. And the Warriors, again, not rated, and I can understand why with that tough 2A Midwestern Conference. Hard to pick what's going to go on in that particular conference. However, the Warriors did have 39 participants come out for the team. And their first games, no rest for the wicked, as they start off with the Laurel Spartans out at Laurel. Then, and this is after the scrimmage week, then they'll be taking on New Brighton. After playing New Brighton at New Brighton, so that's 2 away games in a row for the Warriors, they'll come home to the likes of Neshannock and Freedom, who is much improved. Okay, then they'll go to, and it's tough. I've been down there as a coach. When you got to go to Western Beaver, it's a tiring ordeal. And then they pick up Shenango, and that will be out at Mohawk. So taking on the local rivals for Mohawk is a challenge, as they have Laurel, Neshannock, and Shenango right out of the box before they even get to October. In October, they'll take on Riverside, which is a semi kind of tri-county team. They'll be at Riverside too, and that'll make it a little tougher. At Burgettstown, then they'll have Elwood City come up and pay a visit, and then Summit Academy, that's out there. Now, as I'm looking at this schedule, interesting as we're going through, that Elwood City Lincoln is doing a lot of traveling to Newcastle to play up here. Just unbelievable. And, well, let's get to the Wolverines. And I want to take a time to do a note here where I'm going to mention a little thing about the Greyhounds' schedule. The Greyhounds always play well in their District 10 loop, and they've had 48 participants go out for the team. They're ranked number 2 in 25, and they will start off, and it's to be announced, after their scrimmage week, they'll be taking on Sharon. Then they'll go at Farrell, and Farrell is number 11. Okay, Little Mercer County loop there for the Greyhounds. Then Northwestern from up north comes visiting. Lakeview, which, if you remember, the Sailors were in the playoffs last year. Then they'll play Conneaut, Ohio, and that's to be announced. They'll be at Greenville, and then some interesting games in October as they play Iroquois and Sharpsville, and the Blue Devils always tough, and then the Hickory Hornets. Okay, game details to be announced. So interesting schedule for the Greyhounds. Keep in mind too, Farrell number 11, that'll be a number 2 number 11 matchup, and that's a little bit of that old tri-county rivalry that sets in there. Now, as we move to Elwood City, the Lincoln Wolverines, and this might be the one year where the Wolverines have a schedule that kind of favors them, as they've had 44 participants go out. And you look at that double A Midwestern loop, potentially they could have a chance. Now, here's the keys. They go at Beaver Falls, okay? But that is a non-conference game, according to our information here. Sierra Catholic, non-conference game. Then they're at New Brighton, which is just up over the hill. Then they make their Newcastle trips. They're at Neshannock. They have Freedom at home, which might be a key game because Freedom at home, Freedom's been pretty tough, and I couldn't think of a better place to have them. Then they play at Western Beaver, at Shenango, and once again come home to arch rival Riverside. They go at Mohawk, and then the last game of the season features Brentwood. Now, interesting time for the Wolverines. That'll be with the trips they have to Newcastle. That'll give them a lot of exposure up here and around the city with taking on Shannock and what have you. Now, I want to wish good luck to all the teams. Excuse me. Good luck to all the teams, and I wish them well. We're going to carry as many games this season as we can, including the Newcastle Red Hurricane. We'll have them on pretty much every Friday night, barring some unknown incidents. You know, a lot of times when you go out to these venues, you just aren't sure what you're going to get. If there's going to be any kind of contact to be able to transmit the game back to you. But we totally hope that in that transmission and everything that goes on, that you watch, enjoy the game. We'll have our in-game commercials. We're looking at adding the scoreboard on this year to make the game a little more exciting and a little more viewable for you, to keep you informed of time, down, possession, and those type of things, even timeouts. So once again, good luck to all the participants, and root on your favorite team. And even if you don't have anybody playing, please go out to the game. You know, there's no better thing to do on a Friday night in the fall to watch high school football and then go to one of our proud sponsors that are keeping this community television on the air for you, and just enjoy. Remember, NCTV45, we're available anytime on your time. So after you go out, you can come back and watch a game. Or maybe you went to a game we weren't doing, and you could get a doubleheader. Always great stuff. Support our sponsors. Once again, I thank you. This was the Lawrence County Football Show, and now out to the game.